Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4.
Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated reads for 2023. Some of these are books in a series, so I will give the synopsis of the first book because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read them. Some of these are also in series that I haven't even started yet, but I can't wait for them out because I hear a lot of hype about the book, so I can't wait to read them and will hopefully then read them all together. So the first book is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which comes out on the 31st of January. Again, this is the third book in the series, so obviously I haven't started that series yet. I want to read them literally all entire, like the Mortal Instruments, like all of them. My brain just had a brain fart there, I can't remember the name of the series. But yeah, so I want to read them all. So the synopsis for the first book is: Cordelia Carstairs is a shadow hunter, a warrior trained since childhood to battle demons. When her father is accused of a terrible crime, she and her brother travel to London in hopes of preventing the family's ruin. Cordelia's mother wants to marry her off, but Cordelia is determined to be a hero rather than a bride. Soon Cordelia encounters childhood friends James and Lucy Herondale, and is drawn into their world of glitter in the ballroom, secret assassinations, and supernatural salons. But vampires and warlocks mingle with mermaids and magicians. All the while she must hide her secret love for James, who is sworn to marry someone else. But Cordelia's new life is blown apart when a shocking series of demon attacks devastates London. These monsters are nothing like those shadow hunters have fought before. These demons walk in daylight, strike down the unwary with incurable poison, and seem impossible to kill. London is immediately quarantined. Trapped in the city, Cordelia's friends discover that a dark legacy has gifted them with incredible powers and are forced a brutal choice that will reveal the true cruel price of being a hero. So I enjoyed the movie, the Shadowhunter movie, and I have started the series. I haven't actually finished it, so I'm going to rewatch it from the start, rewatch them all. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really loved the universe that's been built by Cassandra Clare, and I can't wait to read the books and actually compare them and see how, if they do are following the book, or if they've changed quite a lot. So I can't wait to read that in the new year. That is probably one of my plans. That is one of the series that I want to get read in the new year, is the Mortal Instruments and Last Hours and Clockwork Prince. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I want to read them all next year. The next one is the third book in a series, and I want to read the other two, but I was waiting for this one to come out, which is Final Offer by Lauren Asher, which comes out again on the 31st of January. So this book is about Callan and Elena. So I know the series follows three brothers, and each book is based on a different brother, and I'm not sure exactly what it's fully about. I think it's something like their grandfather left them something in the will to do a business, but they had to meet certain conditions and terms for them to get their part of the will, I think. I'm not sure. But this one is about Callan. I'm the Kane brother everyone gossips about behind closed doors. Trust fund brat, washed up athlete, high functioning alcoholic. No one knows the real me but her. Elena Castillo, my childhood best friend and the only woman I ever loved. When I broke her heart 6 years ago, I promised to never return to Lake Wisteria. I kept my word until my grandfather's will changed everything. To receive my inheritance, I was tasked with spending the summer at the family lake house before selling it. The request was simple in theory until my entire plan blew up on the very first day. It turns out Lena doesn't just live at the house, but she claims to own it too. So yeah, it follows them trying to receive their inheritance from their grandfather's will, but have to meet certain conditions. Elena falling in love with Callan Kane was a mistake. He told me so before destroying my heart and our friendship 6 summers ago. When he promised never to come back, I foolishly believed him. But then Cal showed up again, intending to sell his grandfather's lake house. The biggest flaw in his plan: my name is on their deed. Ooh, that sounds really interesting. I can't wait to read that one. I can't wait to read the whole series in general. It seems like it's going to be really interesting. I have heard a lot of good things as well about it, so yeah. it probably seems like I haven't read a lot of these books and then I'm anticipating one, but I'm one of those people that buys the whole series before reading it, so that's why I don't really know too much about them and why a lot of the books are like ones in series. This one is another one in the series. It's the Heartstopper Volume 5 by Oseman, which comes out on 2nd February. Now, I have actually read the first 4 volumes. I read them in Reading Out My Comments My video, which I will leave linked above. So if you haven't heard of Heartstopper, I think you've been living under a rock. But this is Charlie, a high-strung, openly gay overthinker, and Nick, a cheerful, soft-hearted rugby player, meet at a British all-boys grammar school. Friendship blooms quickly, but could there be something more? Charlie Spring is in year 10 at Trueham Grammar School for Boys. The past year hasn't been too great, but at least he's not being bullied anymore. Nick Nelson is in year 11 and on the school rugby team. He's heard a little about Charlie, the kid who was outed last year and bullied for a few months, but he's never had the opportunity to talk to him. They quickly become friends, and soon Charlie is falling half for Nick, even though he doesn't think he has a chance. But love works in surprising ways, and sometimes good things are waiting just around the corner. Now, I fell in love with this series. When I was doing the Out of My Comfort Zone video, I hadn't read like graphic novels and manga before, so this was like my first time reading them. And I definitely think I picked the best series to start with. Like, I absolutely fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the story. It's so beautiful. And like all the representations of people within this one story is just amazing. And I put my hat off to Alice Oseman. She's done an incredible job, and I still need to watch the series. I haven't started that yet. I might wait until the last volume's out, and then like volume 5's out, I'm gonna watch them. We'll see. Anyway, next one is A Dale Full of Nights by Samantha Shannon, which comes out on the 28th of February. Now, I read The Pride of Orange Tree earlier on in the year, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a thick book. I think this one's going to be a thick book too, but I did enjoy it, and I love the character building and the world building, and it was just really beautiful. So this one I think is based on before that book. It's the prequel to this one, to A Pride of the Orange Tree. So this one is Tanuva Melim. I apologize if I say any names wrong in this. Is a sister of the Priory. For 50 years she has trained to slay worms, but none have appeared since the Nameless One, and the younger generation is starting to question the Priory's purpose. To north in the Queendom of Inn, Sabran the Ambitious has married the new king of Hoth, narrowly saving both realms from ruin. Their daughter Glorian trails their shadow exactly where she wants to be. The dragons of the east have slept for centuries. Dumai has spent her life in Tikani's mountain temple, trying to wake the ghosts from their long slumber. Now someone from her mother's past is coming to upend her fate. When the dread mountain erupts, bringing with it an age of terror and violence, these women must find the strength to protect humankind from a devastating threat. So I'm really intrigued to read that one, and see a bit more of the world building from before that time. So to go back a little bit and just see a lot, because you do have in Priory, it does mention obviously bits of the past, so it would be nice to actually see them like built up and actually the full story behind it and what happened. The next one is by an author that again I haven't read yet, but I've got one of her books up here, and that's T.Kingfisher, or he. Is it he or she? Hang on. I'm really bad at this. This video is going to be all over the place, guys, if you haven't noticed that already, but that's just me. It is. It's a female. Okay, I was right. Yeah, if you haven't watched my videos before, they're normally all over the place, so yeah, this is kind of a natural thing. But it's me, it's who I am. So yeah, this one is A House with Good Bones by T.Kingfisher, which comes out on the 28th of March. So it says, Mum seems off. Her brother's words echo in Sam Montgomery's ear as she turns onto a quiet North Carolina street where their mother lives alone. She brushes the thought away as she climbs the front steps. Sam's excited for this rare extended visit and looking forward to two nights with just the two of them, drinking boxed wine, watching murder mystery shows, and guessing who the killer is long before the characters figure it out. But stepping inside, she quickly realises home isn't what it used to be. Gone is the warm, cluttered charm her mum is known for. Now the walls are painted a sterile white. Her mum jumps at the smallest noises and looks over her shoulder even when she's the only person in the room. And when Sam steps out back to clear her head, she finds a jar of tea hidden beneath the magazine. Worthy rose bushes and vultures are circling the garden from above. To find out what's got her mum so frightened in her own home, Sam will go digging for the truth, but some secrets are better left buried. So I can't wait to read this one. It sounds really, really intriguing, and it does sound like it's going to be quite it's going to be interesting to see all the twists and the turns, because I've really this year, like towards like the end of the year, fallen in love with like some thrillers and like psychological thrillers, like, and I'm really enjoying them at the moment. I'm currently reading Survive the Night by Riley Sager, so I am in that sort of era of my reading, so I can't really see what this one's about. The next one is the second book, I think it's called the Knockmount series, by Lucy Score, which is Things We Hide from the Light, which comes out on the 3rd of April. So I read Things We Never Got Over back in April this year when I was on holiday, and I absolutely loved the story, and I loved the characters in the building, and I enjoyed being able to read this, like, her writing was quite like easy to read, which is what I've been trying to say. So this one is about Nash, which is Knox's brother. So it's Nash Morgan was always known as the good Morgan brother, with a smile and a wink for everyone, but now the chief of police is recovering from being shot and his southern charm has been overshadowed by panic attacks and nightmares. He feels like a broody shell of the man he once was. Nash isn't about to let anyone in his life know he's struggling, but his new next door neighbour, smart and sexy Lena, sees his shadows. As a rule, she's not a fan of physical contact unless she initiates it, but for some reason, Nash's touch is different. He feels it too. The physical connection between them is injury. I can't speak English today. Grounding him and making her wonder if exploring it is worth the risk. Too bad Lena's got secrets of her own, and if Nash finds out the real reason she's in town, he'll never forgive her. Besides, she doesn't do relationships, ever. A hot, short-term fling with a local cop? Absolutely. Sign her up. A relationship with a man who expects her to plant roots? No frickin' way. Once she gets what she's after, she has no intention of sticking around, but Knockman has a way of getting under people's skin. And once Nash decides to make Lena his, he's not about to be dissuaded, even if it means facing the danger that nearly killed him. So I'm really intrigued. So I believe this follows on from Things We Never Got Over. I believe it sort of follows on the story, but it's then obviously Nash and Lena who we do meet in Things We Never Go Over. So it's going to be intriguing to see more of their character and, you know, more of their character development and story development. So I can't wait for that one. Next is a first book in a series, which is a new series being written by Alexandra Bracken, which comes out on the 4th of April, is Silver in the Bone. So, Tamsin Largen asked to be a hollower. As a mortal with no magic talent, she was never meant to break into ancient crypts or compete with sorceresses and cunning folk for the treasure inside. But after her thieving foster father disappeared without so much as a goodbye, it was the only way to keep herself and her brother Cables alive. 10 years later, rumours are swirling that a guardian vanished with a powerful ring from Arthurian legend. A run-in with her rival Emery's ignites Tamsin hope that the ring could free Cable from a curse that threatens both of them. But they aren't the only ones who convert the ring. As word spreads, greedy followers start circling, and many would kill to have it for themselves. While Emery's is the last person Tamsin would choose to partner with, she needs all the help she can get to edge out her competition in the race for the ring. Together they dive headfirst into Viper's nest of dark magic, exposing a deadly secret with the power to awaken ghosts of the past and shatter her last hope of saving her brother. So, I fell in love with Alexandra Bracken's writing this year when I read the Darkest Mind series, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So I'm really intrigued to read this story and this kind of world building she's going to build. I think she does write sort of this fantasy styled writing quite well, but she adds in quite a lot of realism into it too, so I can't wait for that. The next book is another author I fell in love with this year, which is T.J. Klune. So coming out on the 25th of April is In the Lives of Puppets. In a strange little home built into the branches of a grove of trees, live 3 robots: fatherly inventor android Giovanni Lawson, a pleasantly sadistic nurse machine, and a small vacuum desperate for love and attention. Victor Lawson, a human, lives there too. They're a family hidden and safe. The day Vic salvages and repairs an unfamiliar android labelled Hap, he learns of a shared dark past between Hap and Geo, a past spent hunting humans. When Hap unwittingly alerts robots from Geo's former life to their whereabouts, the family is no longer hidden and safe. Geo is captured and taken back to his old laboratory in the city of Electric Dreams. So together, the rest of Vic's assembled family must journey across an unforgiving and overworlded country to rescue Geo from decommission or worse, reprogramming. Along the way, save Geo amid conflicted feelings of betrayal and affection of Hap. Vic must decide for himself, can he accept love with strings attached? I really can't wait to read that one. So like I said, I fell in love with TJ because writing this year when I read The House in the Klune Sea and Under the Whispering Door. They are 2 of my favourite books. If you've read my top 10 of 2022, you know that they are in there. So yeah, I can't wait to read more of his writing, and I think he does write again realism and fantasy and really well together, and he has such an undying beautiful story in every one of his books. A lovely story of friendship and love and relationships. So he writes them so beautifully well within a sort of fantasy realism. I think I've explained that well. I don't think I have. I hope you guys know what I'm saying. It's that festive time of year, guys. My brain is shutting down. I'm ready for the holidays. The next one is a sequel to a book I read this year, which was recommended to me by Allie from Just Allie, which is Some Shall Break by Ellie Marney, which comes out on the 6th of June. So I read None Shall Sleep literally like the other week, and I fell in love with the story, and it gave such Criminal Mind vibes. So I really enjoyed it. So if you like watching Criminal Minds, I do recommend this series. So the synopsis for the first book is: in 1982, 2 teenagers, serial killer survivor Emma Lewis and US Marshal candidate Travis Bell, are recruited by the FBI to interview convicted juvenile killers and provide insight and advice on cold cases. From the start, Emma and Travis develop a quick friendship, gaining information from juvenile murderers that even the FBI can't crack. But when the team is called in to give advice on an active case, a serial killer who exclusively hunts teenagers, things begin to unravel. Working against the clock, they must turn to one of the country's most notorious incarcerated murderers for help, teenage sociopath Simon Gummerson. Despite Travis's objections, Emma becomes the conduit between Simon and the FBI team. But while Simon seems to be giving them the information they need to save lives, he's an expert manipulator playing a very long game, and he has his sights set on Emma. So, like I said, it was a really good twisty turn psychological thriller of a book. So I highly do recommend reading it if you like those sort of books. The writing is so easy to read. Like, I literally read it within a day. And again, Criminal Mind vibes. So if you like it, highly recommend this book. The next one is, I don't think it's in this series, but it's definitely related to those books, which is The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Barnes, which comes out on the 29th of August. I enjoyed reading the Inheritance Game series this year. I read it again a few weeks back, last month I think it was, and fell in love with it. So this one is to do specifically with the brothers and not obviously Avery. That was Avery's story with the brothers entwined in it. This is more focused on the brothers. So this says, Grayson Hawthorne was raised as their heir apparent to his billionaire grandfather, taught from the cradle to put family first. Now the great Tobias Hawthorne is dead and his family disinherited, but some lessons linger. When Grayson's half-sister finds themselves in trouble, he swoops in to do what he does best: take care of the problem efficiently, effectively, mercilessly, and without getting bogged down in emotional entanglements. James Hawthorne is a risk-taker, a sensation seeker, a player of games. When his mysterious father appears and asks for a favour, Jameson can't resist the challenge. Now he must infiltrate London's most exclusive underground gambling club, which caters to the rich, the powerful and the aristocratic, and win an impossible game of greater stakes. Luckily, James Hawthorne lives for the impossible. Drawn into twisted games on opposite sides of the globe, Grayson and Jameson, with the help of their brothers and the girl who inherited their grandfather's fortune, must dig deep to decide who they want to be and what each of them will sacrifice to win. So I'm really intrigued to see this, and I think it's like obviously the continuation on, and to dive deeper into the brothers and their thoughts and their feelings and their relationships. So I can't wait to read that one. The next one is, the title's only just recently been released for the book. I haven't read the first two yet, but I can't wait to. I would say I'll wait for this one, but it doesn't come out until the 12th of September, which is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, which is a part of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is her other series after Caravel. I absolutely love Caravel, read it this year, fell in love with her writing, her stories, just beautiful. And yeah, so she's again become one of my favourite authors this year. I've found a lot of authors this year that I really enjoyed and fell in love with. So this one is, for as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox has believed in true love and happy endings until she learns that the love of her life will marry another. Desperate to stop the wedding and to heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with the charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she pledged. She has plans for Evangeline. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will either end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. Now, I'm not sure if that's the synopsis to the first book or that book. Let me have a quick look, because I can't remember. I copied all of them onto a document to then read them off. I wasn't sure. Yeah, that is the synopsis for the first book. Okay, I wasn't sure for a moment then, because I didn't write it down whether it was or not. But yeah, I can't wait to get into that series and to read it. And I will read the first 2 books probably around the time it probably comes out, if I can hold off long enough. We will see. And then the last book on this list, which of course had to be on here, it's recently been announced, which is the Chalice of the Gods by Riordan, which comes out on the 26th of September, which is going to be the 6th book in the Percy Jackson series. So this follows on from, like I said, the Percy Jackson series. Obviously you've got the Heroes of Olympus as well. I've got his other series that I still need to read, so I will read those, and then this one comes out, I will be all up to date with Rick Riordan books, hopefully. I absolutely love his writing. I love Greek mythology. It's one of my favourites. So if you haven't read the Percy Jackson series, this is what it's about. So Percy Jackson is a good kid, but he can't seem to focus on his schoolwork or control his temper. And lately being away at boarding school is only getting worse. Percy could have sworn his pre-algebra teacher turned into a monster and tried to kill him. When Percy's mum finds out, she knows it's time that he knew the truth about where he came from, and that he go to the one place he'll be safe. She sends Percy to Camp Half-Blood, a summer camp for demigods on Long Island, where he learns that the father he never knew is Poseidon, god of the sea. Soon a mystery unfolds, and together with his friends, one is Satyr and the other demigod daughter of Athena, Percy sets out on a quest across the United States to reach the gates of the underworld, located in a recording studio in Hollywood, and prevent a catastrophic war between the gods. So I've already read the Percy Jackson series, obviously, about this one, and absolutely adored and loved it, and I can't wait for that last book to come out. I'm eager for it. So September cannot come around quick enough for next year in regards to books. But yeah, that's all the books that I can't wait and most anticipated to come out next year in 2023. We are now only 8 days away. Oh my god, can't believe I just said that. It's the 26th. No, it's the 23rd when I'm filming this, if I get my dates right. So yeah, I can't wait for next year. It's gonna be a good year for books and reading. I've still got loads to read, but hopefully, fingers crossed, you will be with me for it all. So don't forget, you can also check out my book club, Wolfpack, which is, we have a Discord server which is linked down below. Next month is all dedicated to Sarah J Maas books, so if you want to come and read them with me, because it'll be my first time, or reread, or just want to come and chat about books or anything, come and join us. Link is down below. And yeah, that is it for all today's video, guys. I apologise for the mess that it is. It's hectic, it's all over the place. It's very much me and my books and my video and my style. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below any books that you can't wait to read next year and are anticipating for. And yeah, I will catch you guys in my next video. Don't forget to keep smiling, be kind, keep reading. Bye guys.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.